I pulled Sami to the side last night and I told him, I said, brother, you got it. I said, you got it. I said, I ain't blowing smoke up your ass. I said, I don't do this. If I pull you off and tell you something, I'm telling you because I see it.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mac Davis, your host for the Wrestling Time Machine, right here on Sportskeeda Wrestling, and of course on WrestleBinge on YouTube and anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Of course, with me as they are every single week, my very special guests, and these guys are two true legends in this business. First of all, he's a legendary pro wrestling journalist. He's got magazines named after him, kinda. Bill Apter. Hey, Bill.
Thank you. It's great to be here. By the way, I wanted to let everybody know we've gotten a fabulous response to this show, and you got it now. Time Machine can be yesterday. We're just going backwards instead of going forwards. Yeah. So thank you all for getting that mentality. Yeah.
Good.
And our other co-host for this show is none other than the WWE Hall of Famer, Holla Holla Teddy Long.
Hey, don't try to steal my holla holla, all right?
I got to brand you, Teddy.
I got you, man. Hey, man, thank you guys. I'm glad to be here this week. Thanks for having me. And let me say hello to Bill. You know, he's always a pleasure to have him here with us, man. And we're going to get into some stuff later on. Bill and I had a chance to spend a lot of time at the Monday Night Raw last night. So we'll talk about that later in the show. And
well, actually, let's talk about it now. Let's
I want to tell you a quick question, Mac. Teddy, who's the best Teddy Long Holla Holla impersonator? Everybody does it. Have you caught one that was like, whoa?
No, I haven't.
I can't do it.
Well, you know what? The one guy I really love to do it is Tony Chimo. Because he doesn't say holla holla, he says holler. That Tony Chimo is good. I love him.
Guys, instead of starting off the show with the Time Machine, we'll get there and we'll crank that up a little bit later. We can't gloss over the fact that you guys had a chance to witness Raw 30 live. How about giving us a little insight to how that day went? Teddy, you were there all day long, because I know I talked to you about, that was about 11 o'clock in the morning, I think it was, around that time, about the time you were getting ready to head to the venue, right?
Yeah, well, you know, it's always great to, you know, go back to the WWE. You know, that's my home. Okay, I put it like that. And just to be able to see some of the guys that I had the chance to work with, you know, and see they're still around. Had a chance to talk to Taker, you know, seeing Triple H and all those guys. You know, a lot of it reminded me so much of the Attitude Era. A lot of segments that they did last night was kind of like the Attitude Era. So, I mean, I really enjoyed myself. I sat down, me and Ron Simmons and JBL, and we watched all the matches, and we just had a great time, man.
Yeah, I saw you schmoozing with them and Ted DiBiase and Mike Rotunda. And
oh, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I had a chance to work with Mike Rotunda when he was IRS. And, you know, Jesus, what am I? I'm trying to think. What's his kid that's doing
Bray Wyatt?
Yeah, Bray. Jesus Christ, couldn't remember that to save my life. You know, I knew Bray when he was a little bitty baby, and Mike Rotunda used to bring him to the arenas, and they had this Rottweiler dog that they owned, and that dog, and he would sit Bray down, and that dog would sit right there and watch Bray, and you better go nowhere near it, man. So that's how long I've been knowing Bray Wyatt and Mike Rotunda, man.
I saw you walking around quite a bit talking to the legends. The one guy that I didn't see you talking to, and I was wondering about this, is one of the people you managed way back when in WCW, that Mark Callis, the Undertaker.
Mark Calloway.
Yeah, did you get to talk with him?
Yeah, well, me and Taker spoke at the hotel. I saw him yesterday morning, and we was all in the lobby. We was getting ready to leave for the arena, and I had a chance to talk to him. I said, I'm sorry, you know, they didn't have me at your Hall of Fame, you know, celebration. And, you know, I said, you know, but I do want you to know that, you know, I appreciate everything you've done for me, and I appreciate you letting me be a part of your journey.
How did he get to manage you? I mean, no, how did you get to manage him?
Well,
that'd have been something, though, if he had managed Teddy. I could just imagine that scenario.
I bet you we'd have got over.
I bet you would have.
Did you see the Undertaker going, holla?
Yeah, the way I got a chance to manage Taker is they brought him in, and Paul Heyman was managing him at the time. No, that's not true. The way I got to manage him is I started with him, and I had the team called the Skyscrapers.
Right.
And Sid Vicious got hurt, and he had to step out for a while, and so they brought Taker in and made him part of the Skyscrapers. And then right after that, I went into managing him. He was Mean Mark Callis, and now I remember. After managing for a while, then I sold, Paul Heyman bought him. I sold his contract to Paul Heyman.
Did you know he was going to be a superstar?
Well, yes, I did. I always knew that because when we were in WCW at the time, Ole Anderson was the guy that was doing the booking. Yeah. And Ole told Undertaker that, he was too tall. He had red hair, never draw a dime. He wouldn't be nothing in the business, And then I'm sitting there, it's just unbelievable. And so I'm just glad to see Taker certainly proved him and a lot of other people wrong. Went right on to WWE and one of the biggest stars ever in professional wrestling. So, yeah, how can you not do with a guy with that size and that look? How can you not, if he's willing to do what he needs to do to make it happen, then how can you not push him? How can you not do something with him?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, last night during Raw 30, he seemed to me, if there was ever a moment where I felt like the torch was passed, I felt like last night he was doing that with Bray Wyatt in the ring as he left out. Bill, how did you feel about that?
Well, I was just going to ask you that question because I know you were home watching it in your studio. Yeah, it was kind of like a passing of the torch. I know that he and Undertaker wrestled each other. I don't remember where or when, but when Bray had a different gimmick there. But last night, seeing the two of them together, like nose to nose, and what did Undertaker whisper to him? Well, Bray Wyatt tweeted out earlier today or last night or 2 nights ago, depending upon when you're watching this, that was the one specific moment in his career that he really felt like he had accomplished everything, being with the Undertaker.
Well, I mean, imagine you're sitting in the middle of that ring and Undertaker comes over to you and he passes some words on to you. And also in front of all those people all over the world, not just there in the audience, but all over the world now, see that rub and that torch get passed over. To me, it was a great way to tell a story because I can see this has always been Vince McMahon's creation, The Undertaker. Yes. And I've always been able to see the story that he was telling because it was so clear. And for Taker to do that is the thing that Taker would have done. So it was perfect for me to see that moment in the ring last night.
Yeah.
Well, my feeling about that, this is professional wrestling. And until I know exactly what Taker said to him, then I'm going to just stay quiet until I know exactly what was said.
I
may never find that out. But I mean, I may and I may not, because like I said, this is wrestling. That could be part of the story. But now, I think when you pass the torch, there's a different way to do it. We did it the old school way. You know what I mean? Maybe, like I said, until we actually know what was said, then we can make that decision.
I think that will be a part of the story. I think that there's no way to leave that out of Bray's story because that's got to be something that the listeners and the watchers want to know. What did he say?
That's why I like it. I like the way it happened. So there's a continuation.
Yes.
It's a mystery now.
Absolutely.
It's a mystery. So I love it, man. That's why we're going to find that out because I believe it's part of the story.
I don't think it's the end of it. I think what's going to happen, not just will we know. I mean, he may have just said to him, listen to these people because the crowd went crazy. But I think in storyline, I think the biker Undertaker might come back maybe at Royal Rumble or maybe at WrestleMania and do something, not wrestle Bray Wyatt, but I don't know, maybe he'll mentor him or something. I don't know.
What were your thoughts on him choosing the biker gimmick to come out last night instead of the Undertaker gimmick?
Well, I like that part about it because I don't really think that the Undertaker that's coming back. I don't think that's ever coming back. I think that's done now. And for him to come out with the badass gimmick, the biker gimmick, one that he did try at one time, then they went back to being the Undertaker. But I think the Undertaker is really dead now.
I thought the American Badass was one of my favorites. I liked Undertaker, but the American Badass was a believable character, unlike the mysterious Undertaker.
And once again, look at the size. He fits that perfect. Okay, yes. With him and the size, that's perfect.
Bill, your reaction to last night's opening of the show?
You're talking about Hulkster's microphone going dead?
I'm sorry. No, that was the open of the show. But no, let's talk about that. How did that? That poor guy. He came out there. He had to be trying to remember all his lines and everything.
No,
and then his microphone's
he's
not
natural.
working.
He's natural. He came out there, and backstage, I saw him a few times. He was quiet. He was with his lovely lady, and I got to talk to him for a little while. And when he got out there, Metamorphosis, Hulk Hogan was out there. Well, you know something, Philadelphia. It came right back. It was wonderful, and the fans went crazy. They really went crazy seeing him and Jimmy Hart. It was nice to see the two of them on camera together again. Teddy, Did you get to talk to? I know you talked to Jimmy Hart. Did you talk to Hogan at all?
Yeah, I talked to him for a little bit. He introduced me to the lady that you saw him with, and he was telling me, he said, see Teddy there, me and him, we go way back. I mean, way back. So, yeah, I did get a chance to talk to him.
How about the Bloodline? Now, that's what I was talking about a minute ago when I mentioned the opening of the show. I was actually talking about the Bloodline and that 30-minute promo that they did. It was really compelling. That was the fans seemed to love it. Yes, you were there. Were the fans eating that up as much as it seemed like on TV?
We watched it together, actually. Teddy, me, Ted DiBiase. Who else was standing there with us? There was one of the guys. Oh, JBL. So we watched it together. And my take on this thing was, and Vince Russo said this on one of the Sportskeeda podcasts too, that they did something really right with that thing. The way they worked this out, where one of the Usos who did not get along and didn't even want Sami Zayn in the Bloodline came to his defense. I thought it was well done, well staged, and brilliant. I really did.
I want to say, I just want to real quickly pop in that moment on TV, because again, you're watching it, from the back on TV. Was it Jay that came for the save? Is that who it was?
Yeah.
When Jay hopped up on TV, you don't see that until the last second he comes into the frame. It was filmed perfectly. They had to have known that spot and gone over it over and over again, because you didn't see that coming until just before he was about to, to throw that thumb down and get Sami.
Yeah, it was all very spontaneous, the way the whole thing. And Sami Zayn's face, the emotions that he shows, my goodness, he has come such a long way, and he just makes it, even though we know how wrestling works, you look at it and you go like, this is real.
Hey, man, I swear, Bill, you must be reading my mind. I talked to Mac earlier before we started the show, and I told him the same exact thing about Sami Zayn. And I pulled Sami to the side last night, and I told him, I said, brother, you got it. I said, you got it. I said, I ain't blowing smoke up your ass. I said, I don't do this. If I pull you off and tell you something, I'm telling you because I see it. And I said the same thing you did. I said, I don't see that character in you. I see Sami Zayn. I said, you just real. I said, and that makes it all a lot better when you're real. And I told him those words last night. And Sami Zayn's going to be the next big superstar, man. If they do the right thing, if they push him right.
Well, let me ask you, because Sami Zayn has caught on really hot here, and we're getting in towards WrestleMania season. The plans, for a lot of cases, don't have Sami Zayn facing Roman Reigns. That was not something that was up there. With all of this that's going with Sami right now, the fans loving Sami, and this reminds me of maybe a little Daniel Bryan incident and stuff. Do you put him in that main event against Roman Reigns, or do you stick with the plans that you already have in place, which probably do not include The Rock?
I would stick with what they have. I love Sami. The fans love him. But for someone to face Roman Reigns, the size difference, just everything to me that it just wouldn't work properly. I couldn't see the two of them in a main eventing WrestleMania.
See, I could, because I can see the story being what's being sold. It's not the size of the men, and I think it's the story that maybe that people would buy into.
It's too quick.
Yeah.
Too fast?
Okay. Yeah, it's too quick. You can't do that. You with Sami working his way all the way to Roman Reigns, you got to build that. Okay, you got to build that, and so when that does happen, that has to mean something.
Maybe
so let them build it. Let them build it. Let them take that. Sami's got to get ready. Okay, yeah. Sami still got a lot to learn and still got a long way to go. So let Sami learn. Let Sami get ready for Roman Reigns. See, that's what happens to a lot of guys. They throw something together right away and kill the whole thing.
You know what?
Let them build that story. Get Sami, get him over. Let him build that, and then work his way right into Roman. So when that does happen, then the people want to see it.
I see Sami Zayn and an Uso against Roman Reigns and another Uso.
Yeah. I actually thought last night that was going to happen. That's what I thought was going to happen last night.
Well, they're going to get around all that. You know what I mean? Because it's family. You see what I mean? So they're going to get around all that. That's what I mean about let it build. Let them build that.
Yes. What happens with Solo Sikoa? Though, where do they go with him? Because he's like the man in the middle. He's the assassin of the Usos.
Well, I think they'll find a spot for him. He ain't a bad worker either, man. This guy's great. Okay,
well, maybe he plays along in that tag team instead of Roman, put him in the tag team.
Well, you just never know what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? Because they'll do something and change it at the last minute. So it's really hard to say. We just have to just watch and just watch the story, and we'll see where it goes.
I want to bring up somebody that I saw last night wrestle, and not a lot of people talk about him. And he came out of NXT. But Teddy, you remember back in the days when guys were like monsters and fans were like afraid of them and everything. This kid Bronson Reed, the way he's built, the way he acts, the nasty personality, with me, he's going to be a monster heel. He's already doing that, but going up to the highest level because of the way he looks and he acts.
Yeah, I agree.
What were some of the biggest surprises for you guys last night?
Mac, this is wrestling. Nothing surprises.
Nothing surprises you. I'll tell you what did not surprise me last night. Was the pop for Teddy Long. Every time you pop up on one of those shows and one of those specials, the audience goes absolutely freaking nuts.
Well, the good part of that is, you stay away for a while, so you make them want to see you. You may be happy that you're back. So that's what I'm glad, that I'm not a regular person. I'm not on every week. I continue to do little stuff like that. That's fine with me. Whatever they want me to do, it's on them. Anyway, it's not my call.
I'd like to see you come in and manage the Street Profits.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's their call. Yep. You know what I mean? But like I said, I just appreciate all the fans. They show me love, and so that's why when I get out there, I give them 100%.
It was funny because last night when you appeared on TV, I'd put a thing up on my Facebook page, and I started getting people sending me messages, and they're all saying, Teddy needs to be there every week. And I read that over and over and over again. You still have that charm, that spunk, that vibe.
General manager.
Yeah, I mean, you still have that energy. It has not gone away, and people can feel it and see it when you're on TV.
Well, I'm a natural. I'm not a character. I'm me. I'm me. When I talk to people in the street, I say, you guys have been with player this, player that, or I mean, I'm me. So that's why I enjoy what I do, because I'm being me. I ain't portraying nobody, and that's why I can do it so good, because it's me.
Yep.
Mike, we talked about a surprise last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Brock Lesnar.
Brock.
Everybody thought Rock was going to be there.
Yep.
And instead, we got Brock, and the crowd went nuts.
That
crowd last night just seemed to me like it was hot all night long.
Well, and speaking of what you were saying earlier about the big surprise with Brock, see how they build that? Who would have thought he was going to come out there and cause Lashley? You know what I mean? See what I'm saying? That's attitude era. right there.
That's right. Absolutely. When he came out last night, I think somehow if he's in the Rumble, if Lashley is in the Rumble, I think that there's going to be interaction between the two of them. But I don't know who, since you saw a lot of the talent last night, who do you guys pick to win the Royal Rumble?
Omos, is that his name? Omos? Yeah. That's who I predicted.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got that size and that look, but he hasn't been proven yet.
Well, we'll just have to see. But I mean, how do you not recognize a big guy like that?
You know you do.
You know, he may not win it, but like I said, we never know. So I predict him.
Do you remember what people used to do with Andre, though, at the beginning of the match? They'd all try and gang up and throw him over the ropes. I wonder if they're going to do that with Omos.
Well, I mean, you'd have to, that's part of it. You'd have to, let's get the biggest guy in the world out of here. Then we maybe the other guys got a chance. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that they'll try to do that.
Yeah.
I think that Cody Rhodes, just storyline wise, I see Cody Rhodes probably being the one that wins that Rumble. Although part of me still thinks that there may be a mystery guest that wins that Rumble.
Who?
I don't know. That's just it. I don't know who it would be. But I just feel like there's a surprise in there somewhere that we haven't, thought of yet.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
That it's going to be Cody Rhodes because he's making the ultimate comeback. The fans are dying to see him against Roman Reigns. So leading to WrestleMania, the match between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, the publicity, the marketing, and everything going toward that is just going to be at a fever pitch.
Bill, let me ask you this, and I don't mean to kind of switch up topics, but you're our news guy here. What's the latest with The Rock right now? Where does he stand on WrestleMania? The last I read over the weekend, he's pretty much saying he can't get ready in time.
Well, from what I understand, and I don't know it for a fact, he's got so many other commitments. Mm-hmm. With his business, $7 promotion. What I wanted, the heck with The Rock and WrestleMania, I want to see The Rock and his $7 promotion, and they're involved with Endeavor, the UFC people. If anyone's going to partner or buy the WWE, it's got to be with him involved. That's the only way to keep that company out of the hands of what happened to WCW, business people taking it and changing it to what they want to.
Could last night, the Raw 30, have been one of the last of those type of shows for quite some time? Could we see changes in how things will be done from here on out? Sometimes it feels like
why
they I don't know, but it feels like at times WWE likes to close chapters and move on and almost ignore things. Like when they did with Triple H, The Undertaker, and HBK, they got to the top of the stage and they tried to basically close that chapter. They couldn't, but they tried. And there are times when I feel like they still try that now. I'd hate to think that the Attitude Era may be closed and they start opening up a whole new product under somebody else.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
Why buy a company that is successful if it's broken? Why fix it?
Well, you know what?
To
be on the real side, you just never know, man. You just never know. I mean, I kind of agree with what Mac is saying. Somebody could come in, buy the thing, and screw everything up, because we don't want it like that. This is how we want it. So that could happen. I don't know, but I don't see it happening. But like I said, we just never know.
Well, let me ask, because I meant to ask this question last week. I'll ask it right now. Why are they selling the product? Why is it so important that they sell this product right now? Why did that come up?
We don't know if they're really selling it. We don't.
We have no idea. We'll maybe find that out after it's sold, but we don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
If it's sold.
And the only thing I can figure is that this just happens to be the perfect time and a perfect storm for them to sell the company. But otherwise, I couldn't understand why. I mean, you're not like you're losing money. The company's being, it's successful. So,
Like I said, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, this could just be to ramp up attention.
Remember what I said. This is wrestling.
Right? Sports entertainment. You know what? I was going to buy the company, but my credit card was maxed out.
Yeah, I got a notice about that.
Yeah.
Hey, look, with the Royal Rumble this weekend, is there anyone that you could see popping in that maybe could be a surprise for that show that we haven't talked about?
Well, I'm trying to think.
Like CM Punk. Is that still a possibility? And people still think that, but CM Punk still is under a contract, is he not, with AEW?
I don't think whether he is or isn't, and
I don't know.
I don't know either, but I don't think he's primed to be there. I really don't. First of all, him being a surprise, it would work more if they announced that CM Punk is coming back and he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. That would draw more attention than him being a surprise, in my opinion.
Well, I'd look at it different. I'd like for him not to be a surprise. I'd like for him just all of a sudden, and there he is. Now you got something to go right into Monday Night Raw with. You come right out of that and you go right into Raw, and that means you got him hooked now, and they're waiting to see if when he comes out on Raw, what's going to happen right there. Yeah. I'd leave it a mystery, man, and give that big shot. You got him. Now Monday Night Raw, they're hooked. They're waiting on it.
Yeah.
Do you feel that
he's gonna be part of WWE at this point?
So is there anybody that we're not thinking of, Bill? I mean, Japanese-wise, maybe New Japan Pro Wrestling. Any surprises that maybe we should be looking out for?
Wouldn't it be great if the Great Muta, who's on his retirement tour, winds up in the Royal Rumble?
Stop it, Bill.
Please
stop it.
I just said, wouldn't it be great?
Yeah, just stop it, man.
There's nobody that I can see out there. Maybe what we're not thinking of is there might be some people from NXT.
That's true. That's true. And I don't keep up with NXT as much as I used to. Back when they were the black and yellow brand, I preferred it much better back then. But now we got the
Rick Steiner's son, his son, Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Him to be in this thing, I think that would be fantastic.
And he reminds me so much of Scott too, boy. He's got so much Scott in him. Even though Scott's not his father, he's got a lot of Scott in him in wrestling.
But you know what? What a great storyline would be is that, I mean, he's a big guy. He's like Roman. He's a big guy. For him to win this and have his father and his uncle in his corner, and I just, everybody remembers the Steiner brothers.
Bill, your final thoughts on WWE Raw. Tell me about your final thoughts on that and how you thought last night went.
Oh, I think it was a new era in a good way, so to say, because the energy that the legends brought back to that inspired all the younger wrestlers, the current group, to be like the legends. I thought it was an excellent 3 hours. I really did. And the cream on the crop at the end for Brock Lesnar to come in, I thought it was fabulous.
Teddy, how about you?
I agree with everything that Bill said. Great show, man. I mean, like I said, me and John and Ron, we sat down and we watched all the matches, and man, I mean, everything was great. I really enjoyed myself. I really didn't want to leave. I enjoyed watching everybody perform, so it was
Teddy, if the Undertaker comes back in the biker gimmick and they offer you the job as his manager, you in?
Oh, well, it's whatever Taker wants.
All right.
Bill, anything coming up we need to talk about for you? Any shows or anything coming up?
I've been booked for a show, a convention in I don't remember how to pronounce it. Chilhowee, Ohio. Chilhowee in March 13th.
Teddy, tell us about where you're going to be. You got what you said? We got actually you and I are going to be somewhere in May. With the big Hall of Fame in St. Louis, and you're going to be somewhere else, I believe in March, aren't you?
I think March the 5th. I'm going to be in Rockwood, Tennessee at the Rockwood High School. Big show up there, big fundraiser. I'm going to go up there and see if I can help those guys out.
Well, wait a minute. This brings something else up. I was going to connect Mac with Herb Simmons to get him booked for St. Louis. It's happened?
Yeah, we already got that done, player.
Yeah, it's hooked up and we're ready to go. We actually had a chance to speak with Nick, and he was on our road trip show, which, by the way, you can check Teddy and I out with our other show, Road Trip After Hours. That is on YouTube. It drops every Friday. We hope you'll join us and subscribe, like, share, and we're giving away prizes very soon. And I mean very, very soon. So be listening and watching.
And Bill, I had a chance to talk to Herb too.
Oh, that's great. That's
I
great.
talked to Herb and I told him, I said, when it get a little closer, that we'd like to have him on our show on the Road Trip After Hours.
That's fantastic. Herb is one of the most straight up people in this business.
Yes, he is.
He always has been. Yeah.
Super nice guy, really nice guy. Yeah, I got a message right after we did that interview, Teddy, and from Herb, and he sent me a message and was letting me know how much he appreciated that.
I was supposed to be there, but that's my wedding anniversary weekend, and my wife won't have any part of.
Oh yeah, no. You got to make that wife happy.
Yeah, do what you got to do.
Now,
I'll take it to wrestling at New York instead. So.
And Teddy and I have something else that we're working on that we'll be announcing soon. That's another big event that'll be taking place later this year. So we'll announce that as soon as everything is finalized and the ink is dry. Other than that, I think that's it. Anything you guys need to talk about before we go?
No. I want to get in on this thing. You got to tell me what it is one of these days.
Oh, yeah, of course I will. On the next show, we'll let you know exactly what it is.
I like it.
Yeah.
We don't
Stay tuned.
Yeah, we don't even know.
Teddy's going, what is he talking about?
Yeah, we don't even know.
It's a good thing, I promise.
What I do want to say, though, is I want to thank all the people that are following us on WrestleBinge at Sportskeeda. And thank you all for following me since I've been with Sportskeeda for almost a year and a half now. So, yeah.
Look, I don't mean to make this go longer, but I got to do this. The Sportskeeda Awards that are coming up, Bill, tell us a little bit of information about that.
Well, we're assembling a panel, an exclusive panel of people who will be our special panel on this thing. And then the fans are going to be able to vote for, like Wrestler of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, and other categories. And we had over 100,000 people vote last year. So we're in the process of putting the panel together currently. And I've already got a commitment from Mark Henry and a bunch of other guys to be on the
good.
Because these are people who watch wrestling 24/7. So that's part of the Dave LaGreca Busted Open program.
Gotcha. You got to watch every single second of it.
That's
you got to
it.
know what's going on.
That's it.
All right, guys, we are out of time unless there's something else. Teddy, you got something else?
No, I got nothing else.
All right, well, that means I get to go eat some dinner. My wife's got dinner ready. I can smell it cooking right now. I am Mac Davis. That is legendary pro wrestling journalist Bill Apter and WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long. And this has been the Wrestling Time Machine.